New tonight, there's outrage from landowners across Baltimore, Carroll, and Frederick Counties. A federal judge rules the group behind the Maryland Piedmont Reliability Project will be allowed to access private property to conduct surveys. The project is a 70-mile transmission line that would cut through those three counties. Many describe it as an extension cord from Pennsylvania to data centers in Virginia with no real benefit to Maryland's other than paying the bill.
We were standing up on behalf of the folks across all three counties to say, no, this is an injustice. It shouldn't be allowed. The need for the project is still at question.
Fox 45's Jeff Abel spoke with the head of that group known as Stop MPRP. Jeff joins us live tonight with details. Jeff.
Well, this decision does not greenlight the project, but it does greenlight surveys for the project and gives developers the right to step onto private property to perform them. But tonight, however, many landowners are standing their ground.
We want to hear about our property.
For months, landowners have made their positions crystal clear.
I can promise you, I will fight you tooth and nail, and you will never step foot on my property.
Developers with the Public Service Enterprise Group want to build a high-powered transmission line through 70 miles of private land in Baltimore, Carroll, and Frederick counties. It would provide electricity to data centers in Virginia. But when landowners refused to grant the company access to perform environmental surveys for the project, the company asked a federal judge to intervene.
This really comes down to, property rights. And do we have the ability and do we have the authority in this country to prevent people from coming on our property if we do not want them?
In a 50-page decision, a federal judge ruled today that developers do have the right to perform preliminary studies on private property and granted its request for a preliminary injunction. In his decision, the judge wrote that the Public Service Enterprise Group has established that in the absence of conducting these surveys, PSEG risks a level of delay that will almost certainly entail some prospective financial harms. The judge also determined that without it conducting the surveys, developers risk missing government deadlines, which could put it at risk.
It is untenable to think that 117 landowners will lose their property rights, even in the short term, for the purpose, again, of these, quote, non-invasive surveys, of which we still don't have details on.
The project has yet to be approved by the Public Service Commission, but developers insist the surveys are critical to finalizing their case. In a statement from the Public Service Enterprise Group, a spokesman writes, "We appreciate the court's careful consideration of the facts and application of the law in this matter. We are currently reviewing the decision for the next steps in the process." But Joanne Frederick, who leads the group opposing the project, says an appeal is likely.
It is, again, untenable and unjust that hardworking people across Maryland will have to put up potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars more to protect our property rights. And that seems wrong.
Today's decision also says that any landowner who tends to stand in the way of developers doing these surveys, they could be held in contempt of court. We're live tonight. Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News.
While PSEG claims the line is necessary to keep power flowing throughout the region, including Maryland, landowners say there has to be a better way.
Take your power station and go to West Virginia.
Without the land, it's destroying it. If it was going to benefit the greater community, the good of the greater community, I would understand that. But it doesn't. This would not be needed without the data centers.
And to have people come in with a project that doesn't benefit you, the pain that you feel in fighting for what is yours and what you have worked very hard for, we need to stand up for our property rights.
I mean, this to me feels like this is a shortcut. This is they have not taken the time to really think through what is a long-term sustainable plan for this really real problem that we have, which is this explosive growth of data centers in Northern Virginia and other parts of our state. There needs to be a pause. We're not against growth. We're not against any of these things happening, but this just feels like a very quick and, like I said, a shortcut solution to a much broader problem.
Well, several state lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say they don't believe Marylanders will see much benefit from the transmission line. They say Maryland should focus on producing more of its own energy.
We need to increase our energy, our reliable, affordable energy production in the state. That includes natural gas, includes nuclear. So that's the challenge. But this project doesn't really address that issue because all it's doing is building basically an I-95 from southern Pennsylvania to northern Virginia.
I think that the direct benefits to Maryland are small, if not infinitesimal. We do know that if we don't have these extra lines, then we may have problems with the grid. We may have brownouts, but only because we have to get that energy through somewhere. And if it doesn't come through that line, it will come from somewhere else and maybe from parts of Maryland.
Governor Wes Moore says he has major concerns about the project and he'll stand with residents.
Unless there's adjustments, I don't see a plan moving forward. I have grave concerns with this, and I've had them for a while. I don't understand how the study area was pulled together without the level of both state and community involvement that was necessary. I still am not certain what the benefit is to Marylanders, and I'm going to stand with the people on this, and I'm going to stand with Marylanders.
However, the governor has not met with the group Stop MPRP despite their requests to meet with him. The leader of that group, Joanne Frederick, says she's met with representatives from the governor's office and has another similar meeting scheduled for next week. Now, when it comes to Maryland's ruling today, sheriffs from the impacted jurisdictions say they will not assist PSEG to get onto people's properties. Frederick County Sheriff Charles Jenkins has instructed his deputies to look for help in the court system. Carroll County Sheriff Jim DeWeese agrees.
It's a civil order to go on to their property. I'm not getting involved in a civil order between the courts, Piedmont, and landowners, but I will stand with the landowners in this county and resist this project every single step of the way till the bitter end.
I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel.